Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, possibly some sad news for the Chrysler 300. There is a report out there from Auto Forecast Solutions that this vehicle will not exist after the next several years. Now, we've already heard that there's going to be a major refresh, in fact, an all-new platform that's going to go underneath the new Challenger and the new Charger. But apparently on the books, the 300 is not in the mix for getting this new upgrade. Now, the 300, the Charger, and the Challenger also, and the already put out to pasture Dodge Magnum, all riding on one of the oldest platforms on the planet. In fact, a very old E-Class Mercedes-Benz platform. But they are moving, at least the Charger and Challenger, up to a brand new platform inside of the Fiat Chrysler portfolio. But apparently the 300 may be on its way out, but we'll wait and see when we may hear about this in the future. Next up on the list, Apple has been slowly dismantling their automobile company, where they were really working on building a fully autonomous automobile for sale over the next several years. Now, this is going to sound a little bit strange, but stay with me. I think there is a situation where this was a little bit too complex for Apple. I know that sounds crazy. Apple builds some of the most complex pieces of tech on the planet, but an automobile is on such a different scale and so massive in scope. So there could be a possibility they maybe just bit off a little more than they could chew. That being said, they're continuing to work on their autonomous technology to actually be retrofitted on older machines or be the autonomous technology of choice for them inside of another manufacturer, maybe coming announcements very soon. Next up on the list, well, another DTM season over and another BMW DTM Champion, which means you get this, the brand new M4 DTM Champion Edition automobile. This vehicle is powered by the same M4 GTS powered from the 3-liter twin turbocharged inline 6-cylinder, making 500 horsepower and 442 pounds-feet of torque. That is shifted through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, and the vehicle will be able to do 0 to 62 in just 3.8 seconds with a top speed of just under 190 miles an hour. You also get fully adjustable 3-way coilover suspension on all 4 corners. You get carbon ceramic brakes on all 4 corners. The rear seats are gone in favor of a half roll cage, along with carbon seats with full race harnesses. Those carbon seats are covered with leather and Alcantara. This is a pretty posh piece of kit. Think of it as a M4 GTS, but this is basically a little bit more special because they're only going to build 200 of these vehicles. Now, 200 is actually going to be built for the world. They're claiming they're going to sell this vehicle all over the planet, and the starting price of this vehicle will come in at just under 150,000 euros, or just over 160,000 US dollars. So we'll wait and see when these vehicles will hit dealer showrooms. It'll be very, very soon. Next up on the list, I want to introduce you to the brand new Volkswagen Phideon. Think of this as a Volkswagen Phaeton 2.0, as the Phaeton, I think, was a little bit too early for prime time when they brought that machine out. I mean, really, to buy a $80,000 to $100,000 large luxury sedan from Volkswagen, but now may be the proper time, even though the Phideon's only going to be available inside of China. Now, the Chinese market has an interesting deal. As a show of wealth, or maybe that you've made it, is the fact that you don't drive, but you are driven. But there's a little bit of a modesty situation going on, too, as maybe rolling up in a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, maybe a little bit too high-end, and you want to go a little understated. That's what Volkswagen is really going for with this brand new Phideon. Now, if this vehicle is or does well enough inside of the Chinese market, this vehicle may branch out around the world, and I think it may be the right time for a high-end sedan from the folks over at Volkswagen. We'll have to wait and see on those fronts. Next up on the list, the 370Z apparently is in a lot of trouble. The folks over at Car Advice are reporting that the next generation 370Z could be a crossover, which sounds terrible. Now, as much as I would love to see Nissan build a Z version of an SUV or a crossover, I would hate for it to come at the death of the 370Z. But we'll have to wait and see on this front. I always thought the 370Z was kind of in no man's land. It really had no competitors, and I really felt that it would be a world beater if it really could have a lot more power and a lot more performance, but we'll have to wait and see what Nissan may have up their sleeve for the Z brand moving forward. And last up on the list, Tesla is in the news. They're putting a secondary push on getting pre-orders for the Model 3. In fact, they're making a big promise. After getting 400,000 people to plunk down $1,000 each for a new Model 3, now they're claiming that everybody who comes out and does the same thing, puts down another $1,000 for this machine, they're claiming that you're going to have a car in your driveway by mid-2018. Now, this is the folks at Tesla who have never, ever met a target as far as getting a vehicle to market. So, that being said, the old Model X, probably they had a lot of problems with those Falcon doors, as they actually still continue to have problems with those doors. But this vehicle's not going to have anything like that, so maybe they can really get these. Supposedly they were going to have vehicles in people's driveways by late 2017, which is a big ask, so hopefully they can meet these targets. But if you've got a hanker for new Model 3, you've got a promise on your hand that you can really take to the bank. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. In fact, by the time this is live, we should be well into our live day on the old Motor Cars Facebook page if you want to check us out over there. I hope that this thing goes well because it's going to be very interesting to say the least. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again real soon.